نتابع هذا اللقاء مع السفيرة الهولندية ببيروت هسترسومسن. Welcome again on the show.
Thank you.
It's very good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
As a woman diplomat and an ambassador, does it have advantages for working in Lebanon? Does it open doors, or at the contrary, you have more challenges?
We're quite a number of women ambassadors in Lebanon, approximately 13 after the latest people who came and some people who went. No, I think it has its advantages in the sense that, of course, the Lebanese men are very well mannered, so they always let you finish your talking. But also, maybe in light of some of the way women look for more collective solutions and not so much being focused on the individual. And sometimes I have the feeling that Lebanese in general, they're all brilliant individuals, but operating as a collective is sometimes a bit more difficult. And that results then also in suboptimal solutions. And in that respect, I think there's an added value to have some female ambassadors also within the diplomatic corps. And on the other hand, of course, we are appointed as an ambassador by in our case, the king, in other cases, presidents or whatever. And then, of course, you are the official channel. So it's not that they have a choice.
Yeah. No, they don't have a choice, that's for sure. But being in a country like Lebanon, when we see until now that women are not very effective when it comes to decision making, when it comes to politics, also the ratio is very small when it comes to Lebanon contribution in the parliament, the government, everywhere. We have a government right now that has no women in it. I mean, which is scary for the country that's been for so long trying to empower women. Are you helping in empowering Lebanese women?
Yes. We try to, and also because it's not just about either a woman or a man, but I think as a collective, you reach better results. And sometimes jokingly I ask myself or an audience, like, would there have been a garbage crisis if there would have been more women in cabinet? And my answer is no.
Question.
I think really, in the sense that women tend to look more at solutions, at what is necessary for people, what kind of services do people need, and not so much the geopolitical discussions that I hear all the time from some of the politicians, to which my mind sometimes wanders off, and then I think, yeah, but we cannot influence it here anyway, but we can influence whether people have electricity or whether people have clean water and public education, which Lebanon used to be famous for.
In a sectarian country, I don't know how much you can have influence when it comes to these issues. Well, I read recently a study that says that women, when they are in power, they're less corrupted than men. Do you agree?
In general, indeed, that's what the study says. But I'm sure there's a corrupt woman, here and there. I think we had something in Brazil going on just recently. So from that perspective, I'm not judging that because I'm not in a position to do that. But of course, I think it's from the same point of view, the point of view of making sure that you serve the public instead of the public serving you in a position. And indeed, you mentioned the sectarianism, but even there, I don't think that should be a major obstacle. It's up to the parties themselves to, within the party list also when it comes to elections, to make sure that you have one woman, one man, one woman, one man. We supported women also for the municipal elections to take part in that. In regions in the BK, where women weren't aware of their rights vis-à-vis a community. And even by these kind of courses and putting women and men together and teach them about what expectations they can have from a municipality, already works to break through this patronage and clientelistic system that you have here in Lebanon, and that, to my mind, sometimes really hampers growth and development.
Do you think the quota is important here to help things improve a little bit faster?
I think so. I think so, because indeed you can wait for a long, long time if there is no quota installed, and we live in the 21st century, and Lebanon is clearly in need of a bit more women in decision making positions. But then the quota is also, I think, something that you should look into, in the sense that if it's a quota of 10 persons, one MP who's supposed to be like the champion of the quota, I asked him once, like, but how many women do you have in mind if we talk about the quota? And he said 10. And then I was, yeah, but that's not enough.
10%?
Because, no, 10 seats within the parliament of 126.
Okay, which is like 9% or 8%.
Yes,
okay.
and I do think if you want to have some kind of a critical mass, then it's really necessary to have a higher percentage.
Okay. How do you think Lebanon can learn from the Netherlands, or get inspired from the Netherlands? You have an issue, I mean, something very well known to everyone, that weed and hash and these kind of mild narcotics are allowed in the Netherlands,
yes.
legalized,
yes.
let's say. Do you recommend that Lebanon should legalize such narcotics?
I think there are many points of inspiration between Lebanon and the Netherlands. We've both been trading countries. We're both open to the sea. We have a long history in that. We speak our languages. We have neighbors that at times in the Netherlands, but now for Lebanon, of course, have a huge negative impact, but can have a future positive impact as well. You can, with the skills that people have here, the ports and the harbor should be, the gateways like Rotterdam is for Europe. This could be also here for the region. When it comes to the hashes and so on, I think in the Netherlands we're a very liberal country, and we're a liberal country that is vested in cooperation, because we always had to fight the water outside. Almost one third of our territory is underneath the sea level. So we always have to make sure that we work together to keep the water out. But the liberalism has been there also for centuries. We were the inventors of the stock market. We had the first bubble when it came to where you have now the internet bubble and these kind of things. We had the bubble about tulip bulbs. So they were priced, very much so, and people actually went bankrupt by having shorts on bulbs. But back to the policy when it comes to soft drugs, it's very much focused on the health of the individual, and we would like that individual to be able to make choices, but make choices that are healthy and controlled, so to say. So it's legal to buy at the coffee shop, to buy your own weed. It's also legal to have your own weed plant at home for your own consumption in that respect. But it's illegal to grow it. So the production part of it's still illegal, except when it is for medicinal use. So we have a small production for medicinal use.
Your advice for Lebanon?
My advice for Lebanon is to decriminalize. I hear too many stories about young guys or girls who've been caught with just one joint, and then they get arrested, they're being put in a jail, they're there for quite some time, whereas that takes away the capacity of the law enforcement agencies to actually work on the bigger guys, on the ones who are selling it, or the ones who are producing it, or the ones who are smuggling it across the borders. So I think to take the perspective of the individual and the health requirements is better. And also, if you look, for instance, at the addiction rates in the Netherlands, they're relatively low compared to countries where it's illegal, because people try. As a youngster, and then you've tried once or twice, and you not necessarily become a regular smoker. For instance, I grew up in a small village in the Netherlands, and I had two associations with Lebanon. One, of course, was when I grew up, there was the Civil War, but the second one was the red and yellow Lebanon that we could buy at the coffee shop. So already when I was 17, I think I must have smoked a joint with the red or yellow Lebanon.
So the Lebanese hash was selling in the Netherlands.
And very popular also.
Yes. Oh, so we have
good quality
quality production.
Yes.
But you did not give me a clear answer. Would you say that Lebanon should go and legalize the selling of pot? that's produced in the Bekaa
yes.
and is high quality, as you said?
I would think so. But of
for
course,
the economy, let's say, for the tourism. I mean,
that might also, in the sense that, of course, Amsterdam is famous also for the coffee shops. But I do think, from the point of view of the individual and the health of the individual, it's good to sell it, maybe in an organized and controlled way, but and then to legalize
for
it
medicinal ends, you mean?
Medicinal ends for sure. I think that the production should be also legalized. And actually, there's now a law in our Dutch parliament to also legalize the production, because that takes away the possibility for criminals to actually also enter into that market.
I want to say mabruk again for
Shukran.
the film, the movie that you made. It's going to be released in Beirut Film Festival, I guess?
Yes, we're very proud to see that it's been selected by the Beirut International Film Festival, and it's high standards always. And we have a premiere on the 10th, where we invite also all the people who worked with us on the documentary. And on the 11th of October, it's accessible for anybody who'd like to see it.
So people can go to the movies and watch you.
Yes,
as a
and
star
the team,
of the movie.
Not so much a star, and maybe also to get a bit of an insight on how a diplomat deals with their politicians and the spiritual leaders and so on.
I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
Being in this movie and directing, let's say, the team where to go and what you picked exactly. Thank you so much for being with us,
Thank you, Paula.
Hestr Somsen. شكرا مشاهدينا على المتابعة. أنا بشوفكم الأسبوع المقبل. إلى اللقاء.
Thank you.